Yeah. Um, Commentary, the op-ed section, right? The opinion section, the opinion of the editors, editors of the Torsion Field movie. What you magnetically record, what you experience through this interface, right? And I was watching Glenn Beck because what prompted me to even, you know, go through a thought form exercise and then feel what it is that they're communicating with each other. And so Glenn Beck was talking about the FBI now raiding Biden's place, right? President Biden, right? And now they're using some very, what we call keywords, keynote words, numbers or energy, that now we're using the term weaponized. How many times have we heard over the many years now through all the whistleblower community about weaponized consciousness? Right. And even when I think about, for example, the Anunnaki, I've qualified this many times before about I leave the letters, the alphanumeric energy numbers that represent a particular race that exists within the all creation. Okay? You put any label or pin you want on that. You know, like pinning the map. This is who they are. This is their Dyson sphere. This is where they're originally from. Who first seeded the Anunnaki? Who was their original creator? You know? Now, see, if you know that it all began with what love is, because love is an infinite vibration, then you know if that love does no harm, then why would a particular race choose to use a Kleist to capture souls? Because that's obviously against the law of one. Because it means that that particular unit of energy, which is conscious and aware of itself, is choosing to use the technology that it has available, or it thus developed, or managed to get their hands on through technology transfer and the deals that they make therein, in which to do something that is obviously a crime, because now the soul doesn't have a connection to the one to experience what love is. Okay? So that's an energy debt to the one. So if you want to think of that as a crime against God itself, the Godhead, the Father side, the first Father, first seed, okay, from which all love comes. It means that they violated the first law of one, which is the highest superconductor. Okay, so that's how I measure it, is what the consciousness energy does, not what the race name does. What the energy itself that is aware of itself does with its energy. Okay, so now you can look at the underlying causality, because now we're going to experience as a soul and a spirit, okay, the result of their behavior. If their behavior ends up traumatizing and fracturing a soul, okay, that's a criminal mind. That means that the Anunnaki represent criminal minds. It means they're corrupted. It means their software is corrupted. It means that their seed is corrupted. So if it's true, because I have no direct evidence, because I haven't experienced the truth of it, that they bred with the Draco, for example, right? Okay, then you're realizing what they're choosing to breed with and why they're choosing to breed with something like that versus something else that experiences what love is and which they do no harm. So what is the highest metric there is in the entire creation, the entire cosmos? Love is the law. So it's easy to expose anything that is aware of itself that committed a crime against that. No matter what it is, you can put any label on it. All you have to do is observe it or become aware of what it did by the fact that you're now experiencing something less than what you are, by the impact of having a relationship with another race that did what they did with their energy. Right? So you only know that when the universe itself is getting highly intelligent and accelerating at a high rate of speed, it's only a matter of time, or if they're not serving, it gets discarded. Because that's the natural evolution and the acceleration of energy that becomes aware of what other units of energy, which represent what they're aware of, they're gone. Nobody has any memory of them anymore. They're wiped. The universe doesn't want to have anything to do with them anymore because they realize what they represent in energy. Right? So that's my response to what's her name, Alana Dawn, who talked about the Anunnaki, right? Having control of the whole galaxy at one time. So my response to that, well, that doesn't say a whole lot about the galaxy, does it? Not if you're going to measure it on a cosmic level. Right? I mean, folks, you know, one of the great gifts of not living in a lie and living in the light and being the one, you are what love is that anything that's less than what that is, that you become aware of, or you become aware of what they do, gets exposed. So that means that eternal love and eternal vibration, it represents the one, which is the one law, will expose anything that isn't what that is. Otherwise, you're not what that is. If you are what love is, it means that if it's true that you are what love is and you're experiencing that vibration, then it means you know that everything that you're experiencing that isn't what that vibration is, right? So if you're the law, and it's true that you're the law because you're experiencing that vibration, then you would know everything that isn't the law by becoming aware of what isn't the law, by what the other does against us, which is the law, because that's what we vibrate at. So what does that tell you? If they were vibrating at that level and they were experiencing what love is, they wouldn't do any harm to any souls, would they? They wouldn't be capturing any energy, would they? To use it for whatever they use it for, right? That's a major crime. That's a crime against creation itself, which means that's a crime against the one. So this is why anybody that gets on a video and begins to share information of what they become aware of to that community, it is always going to revert back to the one. There's only one metric. There's only one law. Love is the law. It's the way it works. So when I watch a lot of these videos, that's the first thing I'm looking for. I should say looking for. But when I'm experiencing everything that's being communicated, am I experiencing that? Okay? I mean, people can get on there, for example, and talk for 40 minutes and everything else is going on, and there is no reference. Okay? Very little reference. As a matter of fact, it's conspicuous by its absence. That they make no reference to the law of one. When they talk about the relationship between all these other races, the councils, you name it, right? Patty Broussard, out of everybody else that I can remember, was the first one who openly stated on a mic. Guy had to keep hitting me over the head and reminding me love is the law. That's a goddess, a real one. Look what they did to the gold on this planet. Was there an arrangement that was allowing them, because of what they did to themselves, to be able to come into this planet and strip the planet of its monatomic gold? Did they have permission to do that? Or did they just come in and take it? Right? Without any regards for anybody else. That's a thief. See, if you have something that I'm interested in that might be of value, when you consider it in the terms of I'm in service to others, and I realize that you have something that might benefit the entire creation in love and service to others, but you happen to be in possession of it, I would approach you in such a way, out of love and service to you, in a state of complete peace and balance, to provide an idea, a suggestion, because we don't impose our will on anybody. But if they themselves are intelligent enough, creative enough, and they have enough love in their own heart to know what the value is of what it is that they have, chances are that whatever that is a resource, is going to be used that way because love knows what to do with energy or resources for the benefit of the all creation. And that's where the Achilles heel comes in. It's because if that particular transfer technology gets transferred into the hands of somebody else that perceives it as a power inverter, as the means to which you acquire more power, now you see the dividing line. That's the paradox. One that is in love and service to others, technology that is used in service to self to gain more power. Because at the end of the day, love is the engine of creation. There's no denying that. So when you're doing something against the engine of creation, which is what love is, you're breaking the law, no matter where you are. And no matter who's doing it. So anyway, that's my reply, because I lost the link to be able to put a little comment in there for Elena Dion, right? To remind her of that, okay? Because it doesn't get brought up in these conversations, and it sort of gets left out like it's swept under the rug, and it's not front and center. It's not at the center point of every sphere. The law of spheres, perfect balance in water worlds, right? The purity of a world, the purity of the spirit, which is the purity of the energy. Okay? So all you have to do is measure the purity in this realm, and you can see what happened as a result therein. I try and keep a lot of this to myself, because otherwise the rage really begins to go up, and I don't want to generate an anger monster as a result of, because I've already had to come to grips with this since I was a child, because it's on us. Okay? It is. Ask any real Arcturian. Okay? Ask any Guardian. Okay? So that's why I said the other day, we got to clean up the mess, Mama. All right? Mama and Papa got to clean up the mess. That's really what it is. When you're the law of one, when mother and father are joined as one, that go on forever, gifting everybody electrons, and they're surveying the damage of what happens at this level of creation, then how does it get solved? Right? It's sort of like this. How many check boxes or how many accelerators do you need to keep experiencing before you begin to realize that you have a universe killer on the loose? And anything that doesn't represent what love is, and instead is draining our power and then using it as to war against us, now we're experiencing war in our own mirror as a result of it. I'm not at war with my mirror. I'm at peace. I'm in love with my mirror. Right? Whoa, the rearview mirror. Wow, something came after me. It's now after my energy. Well, I came first, now it's looking behind me, trying to chase me up. That's the vampire chasing the artist. Because we run the highest speed accelerator, that's why. Love is the fastest learner. As well it should be, huh, Mama? Have a good night. I love you all. Be good to yourselves.